Moving is a big deal for anyone, and that's whether you're moving down the street or from one city to another city. And obviously you want to know where you're moving to. You want to know how it is to live there. And today we're going to dive into a bunch of questions that I typically get asked from people that are moving from everywhere to Lubbock, Texas. I'm Nate Toffner with Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate, and let's dive into these questions. First question I typically get asked is, how's the weather? And there's always a good and bad side of it because it's pretty extreme. Some days we have hail, and some days it's beautiful and sunny. Some days it's way too hot, and some days it's just perfect. Now, Lubbock's weather is totally extreme, but we do have about 260 days of sunshine during the year. So I would say the pro really does outweigh the con. Second question is, what about getting around Lubbock? How's the commute, and how can I get from point A to point B? Well, Lubbock's transportation, as far as public transportation goes, is not that in depth, I guess. There's not a lot of options, but if you do have a vehicle, Lubbock has pretty low traffic volume, so it is easy and quick to get around the city. The third question I typically get asked is, what about Lubbock's economy? Well, it's dependent on about three major sectors here in Lubbock, and that's education, agriculture, and healthcare. Now, being, pretty pinholed into those three doesn't really give a lot of growth. The fourth question I get asked a lot is, Lubbock's pretty far away from other cities, and how does that really affect living there? Well, it's true. Lubbock is pretty isolated, and it can take a couple of hours to, get to Dallas or Fort Worth or even some places in New Mexico. But because of this, Lubbock is pretty self-sustaining and still offers a pretty quiet lifestyle. And number 5, do I need to be worried about earthquakes, tsunamis, natural disasters if I move to Lubbock? Well, Lubbock's weather is extreme, and sometimes there is a threat of tornadoes. Now, since I've lived here, I have not experienced any, but I will say that Lubbock is definitely prepared for natural disasters. Number 6, what is there to do in Lubbock? Well, because it is isolated, there's a lot fewer options than major metroplexes. But because of this, as a city, Lubbock really does put on some awesome community events and highlights local artists and festivals that everybody can enjoy. And finally, number 7, crime. It is true that there are neighborhoods in Lubbock that experience higher crime rates, but because of this, Lubbock's Police Department really has implemented initiatives to offset this and keep our community safe. I'm Nate Toffner with Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate, and I hope these questions really helped you in discovering more about Lubbock, and maybe it turned you off and you don't want to move to Lubbock, or maybe it really helped solidify your decision to move here to the hub city. I'll catch you on the next one.